Hey everyone, Mike with OneTut.net here, and today is our third video in our series, and what I'm going to teach you today are paragraphs, headlines, line breaks, and comments. It seems like a lot to teach in one video, but it's all pretty quick and easy, so let's get started. So let's get inside of our HTML fundamentals folder first, and we need to create a new folder for this video. We're going to call it 2-basic text 1. I'm going to have a few different videos for basic text. Text is very important because obviously most HTML pages consist of mainly all text. So let's get started. Open up your text editor and we're going to create a new file. So let's save it inside that folder like we did in the last video as index.html. And I'm just going to copy and paste the code from our last video, and we're going to put that into our new project. Alright, as you can see, we already have a paragraph here, and I kind of taught you guys what paragraphs were and how they worked, but I'm going to show you what multiple paragraphs in the web browser look like. So let's copy and paste this on a few different lines. And what I'm going to do first is show you guys what a line break is. So on the second paragraph, right after my, we can add another tag. It's going to be BR. That stands for line break. What that means is this is going to be on one line and it's going to break the next two words down to the next line. You'll see what it looks like in the web browser in a second. Paragraphs are very important because that's what most of the text is on web pages. Another important topic are headlines. Now, they're 6-level headlines. It's going to be H1 through H6. So let's copy and paste 6 different headlines. And inside each one, we'll type this is a level 1 headline, and we'll go down through each one and change the number. Now what I'm going to do is in between the headlines and the paragraphs, I'm also going to add another line break. And right after that line break, we're going to insert what's called a comment. A comment is text that is not visible or compiled as HTML. It's just for your reference, so for when you're done. So to add a comment, what we're going to do is type a less than sign, an exclamation point, 2 dashes, and you can see how all this is grayed out. That's because since we haven't closed the comment yet, everything after this is considered a comment. So let's put a space there and we'll put this is our first comment. And to close a comment, you do exactly how you did to open it, just without the exclamation point. Now that comment's closed. Now if you want to add a comment above and say these are headlines, and maybe you want to add one below here, we'll skip a few spaces down and put these are paragraphs. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what it looks like in the web page and do a little bit of explaining about everything. Now as you can see, we start with our web page title inside of our head tags, like I explained in our last video, which is going to show up on top of our tab. And then we got our comment. Like I said before, this comment isn't going to show up on the page. It's just for your reference. And we have our level 1 through 6 headline. And as you can see, each one is a little bit smaller than the last, and they're bold. They have different fonts. Well, not different fonts, different font sizes. And that's because the browser puts default styling on each headline, which in CSS later on you'll learn that you can change the default styling of any element. You could make the level 1 headline smaller than the level 6 headline if you felt like it. Next is right down here we have a line break. You can see this line break right here, but this space that I have doesn't actually show up on the web page. The only thing that shows up is this line break. So right here's a line break, and then here's our 3 paragraphs, and you're probably wondering, why is there 4 lines of text? Like we did before, we added a line break in the middle of our second paragraph, as you can see, which pushed it down to the second line. Now, going back to headlines, a good way to remember headlines is like a newspaper. You can see this would be a level 1 headline, and possibly this also, and then it just gets smaller as you go down. This could be a level 2 headline, a level 3, this could be a level 4 or 5, and keeps it semantic. As you can see, the main news is in the biggest text, and then as you go down, the less important something is as a smaller text. And that's how headlines work in HTML. Now this concludes my 3rd video of Basic Text 1, and our next video is going to be Basic Text 2, where we're going to teach you guys emphasis, strong, horizontal rules, and quotes. So I hope you continue along with this series. Thanks. Don't forget to check out our forum at onetut.net.